cat. They got a little tomcat, pussycat, eh? Little tomcat, eh? Take it out for the little cat. Ooh. He's all hyped up. He's all razzled dazzled.
Bữa nay mình bắt đầu với đồ hình nước tiểu. Tiểu nước trong cho ít nhất 10 lần một ngày. Ăn nhiều trái cây và rau cải. Uống 1 lít nước trước khi mỗi bữa ăn. Cảm ơn.
Alright, we've got the video here how to go from 24 minutes 5k on the track or the road. Treadmills don't count. Alright, treadmill times don't count. You got the treadmill bounce, the calibration's all off. Treadmills don't count, okay? Don't use treadmill times, people. That's not accurate, okay? The only thing that matters is road loop, park run, and or track, okay? So when we're talking 5k times, that's what we're talking about. Okay, those 3 things: road or track. Treadmills don't count. So this person is a question in the coaching group. Great question. If you want my coaching, go to durianrider.com. One-on-one coaching. Every single question answered. Alright. Any questions? Unlimited questions. Start a new thread. I answer your question. Always. That's the guarantee. So how to go from 24 minutes, currently running, the man is currently running around 24 minutes, 23 something for 5k, let's say 24. We want to go back down to PR, I think it's about 19:30, sub 20 minutes, okay? So the way to do that, there's a little pussycat here, oh Johnny, that pussycat ran past. I was going to go for the camera, he's a cheeky little tomcat. All you have to do is, there's a few things to do, okay? So let's talk about the factors there. Right, let's talk about footwear, all right? Let's talk about free speed, okay? These are the best shoes for the 5k. The Nike Next Percent Vaporfly, the Vaporfly Next Percent. I've got another cat coming past here. Let's see if we can get a little pussy grab. Hey. Oh, here we go. Oh, little pussy cat. Hey. This one's a little feral cat. And beautiful little cat there. Stay away from cat fur if you run it. Not good for your allergies. Anyway, so Next Percent, fantastic shoe. Next Percent Vaporfly. This is instant speed. Right? This could be up to a minute faster in a 5k. I would say for most runners, it's going to give you between 30 seconds and a minute today in your PR. Okay, well not PR, but it's going to decrease your time by 20 seconds to a minute, depending how fast you go for 5k, okay? So you got to get a pair of these. Use them for race day, and train in a hard shoe. These are a really good racing flat. I cut the toes off, and because my feet have grown from anabolics, but yeah, Brooks Green Silence. Hard to get. I like it. This pair is 7 years old. I don't run much, obviously, but yeah. Good shoes. So I use these for building strength in the legs during the week. If I run during the week, generally I don't run the week. Generally I run once a week, 5k on Saturday. But if I'm going to do a run during the week, I'll run in a hard shoe for 5 minutes, 2 minutes, 10 minutes, max maybe 20 minutes. And a shoe like this helps condition your legs. This shoe is actually what I ran my PR in back in the day when I was doing more running, at 16:35. This is the actual shoe I used, and I would have gone probably a 16:10 if I had these on that day, okay? But these are great shoes to condition the calves, condition the legs. You want to have your legs strong for running strong, 5k strong, not marathon strong, not downhill running strong, but 5k strong, specific for the distance, okay? Well, here's Jules. Johnny just come past in. He's playing with fire. I hope Johnny on his way back. And so yeah, you want to have strong legs, which if you've been running for a while, you have that. So that's the footwear aspect, okay? Footwear aspect, let's talk about body weight. The less you weigh, the faster you're going to run, alright? All other variables equal, okay? So currently today I'm 78 kilos from using anabolics. My testosterone levels are jacked for quite a while now, so you just put on muscle. My head's bigger, every muscle in my body's bigger. Even my dong, like testosterone just grows everything, okay? So if I wanted to become a faster runner again, back down to the low 16s or in the 15s, I would stop all those things and just go from 78 kilo right down to 59 to 62 kilos, and then I'd just be flying compared to what I am now. So that's one thing. Weight. Okay, are we carrying excess muscle or excess fat? Okay, so again, depends on what our goal is. If you want to be your fastest runner, you need to be very, very slim. Right, very, very slim. Okay, that's just how it is. This is physics. It's just physics. So we don't want to go too slim where we become anemic and just there's plenty of runners out there who are anorexia and can't even run for their 30-minute 5k. So there's a limit there. Okay, you want to be slim enough, not too slim. Okay? Just like sunshine, you want enough sun, not too much sun, not too little sun. Goldilocks sunshine. Okay, simple as that. So with your body weight, you don't want to go too light that you're losing performance, and go too heavy that you're losing performance. If you were talking the 5k, okay. Johnny's coming back here, and Johnny boy, hey, Johnny. And so yeah, this is the deal here. Here we go. We got a little tomcat. We got a little tomcat pussycat, eh? Little tomcat. Hey, take it out for the camera. He's all hyped up. He's all razzle dazzled. So that's the deal. Is you want to, shoes, body weight, nutrition. Persons in my coaching group, sugar's going to be your friend. Keeping fat intake as low as possible. The less fat you eat, the less fat you wear, and the more fat you can burn. I'll say it again. The fat you eat is the fat you wear. The less fat you eat, the less fat you wear, and the more fat you can burn. It takes 3 kilos of oxygen to burn 1 kilo of fat. Right? So I'm burning fat right now, talking. Oxygen's coming in, carbon dioxide, which is a form of fat coming out. Carbon dioxide, fat gets turned to carbon dioxide, you breathe it out. Okay, so it's the exchange. So you're exchanging oxygen for fat. Then people come home and have a fatty meal. And it's like, well, you just burn off 100 grams of fat running, and now you come home and eat 100 grams of fat. So now you're in your fat balance or fat overbalance because you're going to eat more fat that night. So it doesn't matter what fat you're eating, plant fat, animal fat, fat's fat when it comes to body fat, okay? Obviously the plant fat's better for the environment, ethics, all those things, for sure, no doubt. But we're talking just purely performance here right now. The fat you eat is the fat you wear. Less fat is better. Fat also goes in your bloodstream. Excess dietary fat over 10-20 grams a day is going to begin your bloodstream, cause insulin resistance, going to cause the amount of storage then. So where were we? So the fat, man. The fat is causes your red blood cells to aggregate, to stick together. And if your red blood cells stick together, you can give yourself clots. But in performance setting, we're talking the red blood cells can't absorb as much oxygen, so you can't get the power to your legs, alright? It's like, you want to have as little fat in the bloodstream as possible, as little fat in your diet as possible, if your goal is to go faster, alright? That's a huge one. Like the brain clarity you get when you're eating 10 grams of fat, you almost feel like, it's a good feeling. You have more clarity because the blood is thinner. If you think of all the little capillaries and the vessels and the little veins and everything in the body, arteries, all the blood vessels, some of them are so thin in the eyes that the red blood cells, which carry oxygen, they're so thin that they're leveling up one by one, like stacking one by one just to get through the vessel there, okay? So if you've got the oil and water doesn't mix, the oil clogs it up. So those little vessels get blocked, you get less oxygen, you get vision issues, you get impairment, insulin resistance, etc. Okay? So do the experiment, do a month of under 10 grams of fat a day. And write back and tell me how much better you feel, your skin's better, your scalp's not as greasy, your back all feels heaps cleaner and stuff, and you got such insulin sensitivity, everything works so much better, okay? Just try it out for yourself, test ride then decide. So fat intake's a huge one. You can save so much time on fat because time by cutting fat in your diet, cutting it right back to 10-20 grams a day, because you'll have better oxygen transfer to your body. Oxygen uptake, transfer, delivery to the cells is enhanced with around 10 to 20 grams of fat a day. More than that, you start to cut into it. Do the experiment, right? Don't just blindly follow me. Do the experiment and record the data for yourself, okay? Do your blood tests, check your fasting insulin, check your hemoglobin A1C before and after. Watch the differences. So that's that one. Nutrition, as much sugar as you want. This person's already done sub 20 minute 5K, so they sort of know what to do in terms of not eating too much before a race. In terms of, let's say my races are at 8 a.m. Saturday park runs, when I have my running races, etc. And so I'll wake up, I have 500 mils of water, I get out of bed at maybe 7:20. I have like a banana, or maybe just a couple of jelly beans or something, or just some sugar and water, tablespoon or two of sugar and water, and then go to the start line, do like a 10-minute jog warm-up, and then boom, go. And then come home, have my water, have my sugar. I generally have water at the race straight away after we have some sugar there, so I'm talking to people, and so yeah, so never train fasted. Otherwise you train fasted, cortisol's a bit too high, it's not as good that day. Never train fasted, always have sugar. And so yeah, that's how I ran 16:35 on about 10 miles a week. 10 miles a week, so yeah, train smarter, not harder. And I'm lean all year long, don't have to worry about my weight, eat low fat, don't have to train hard. People, a lot out there, they're training to keep their weight down. So you can't out-train a fatty diet, you get injured, that fat's going to catch up, it's going to catch up, or you're starving yourself, and people around you have to suffer because your mood's not good, and you're doing this calories in, calories out nonsense, and just life quality goes downhill, right? Always banish calories in, calories out mentality. Whenever you get that focus, then you start weighing every single meal, weighing yourself all the time. Like, I weigh myself now just to give data points to people, right? And just see the curiosity. Okay, I'm doing this dosage of antibiotics. Oh, weight's going up. Oh, I'll stop doing antibiotics. Oh, weight's coming down. I guess, I don't track my calories or how many calories I burn, because you don't know how many calories exactly is in every single meal per day. You don't. Oh, I type it into a chronometer. No, that's so vague. That's so vague, right? Like a banana grown in Ecuador, does it weigh exactly the same as a Thai banana or Australian banana? Even if it did weigh the same, is it the same calorie content? Depends on the sunshine, the minerals, and all. This is so vague. Don't worry about that stuff. Only track your fat intake, which is relatively easy to do. In terms of like trying to establish, let's say you're eating hypothetically 3,000 calories a day, and you go, well, I'm going to do 2,850 calories a day. You can't calculate the accuracy. Well, I've burnt 3,000 calories. I'm going to try and burn 3,270 calories. No, you can't measure that. Oh, I use a power meter. It's still not the same, man. If you're doing 300 watts, you'll burn a certain amount of energy, calories, fats. But what if you're like stressed in the head, or you got metabolic damage, adaptive thermogenesis? It's not this. People just think it's a mathematical equation, metabolism, and it's not. There's hormones. There's so many things. Maths can sort of give you a bit of a direction, but it's not. The mathematics isn't the solution. The solution is low fat. Okay. The solution is hormones, people. Hormones. Understanding metabolism. Understanding the human body doesn't need much fat. It doesn't like a lot of fat as an adult. Okay. If you're a baby, yeah, because your stomach's so small. But yeah. Anyway, so that's the deal. Low fat, red blood cells. Go today, get a blood test, people. Get your hemoglobin tested, your vitamin B12, and your iron. Well, I eat meat. I don't need B12 or iron tested, durianrider. It doesn't matter. I've given hundreds and hundreds of B12 injections out to people since 2009. People don't want to go to the doctors and spend $100, so they bring me their insulin needles and their B12 ampules, and I do it for them for free. Just like boom, 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 30 seconds, they're done. Oh wow, that was actually pretty good. It didn't hurt like the doctor's done. Yeah, because I'm taking my time. The doctor's just like, jab, squirt it in next. Doctors are thinking time and money, okay? I'm just like, I want to do a good job for you. For free. And give a good experience. Show you how to do it yourself. But that's the deal. So test your hemoglobin, B12, because if your hemoglobin's under 150, you're not really going to be doing too well, in terms of what you could be doing, especially if you're a guy. As a girl, girls generally run a little bit lower hemoglobin, but if we can bring your hemoglobin up 5 points, that could drop 30 seconds off your 5K, from today to versus tomorrow. So hemoglobin is really, really important. So test your hemoglobin, get a printout. Don't just go, well, the doctor said it's fine. Most doctors wouldn't have a freaking clue, man. Most doctors, overweight, pumped full of medications, Xanax, depression pills, alcoholism at night time. You'd be surprised. I live in an area where a lot of doctors live. The bins here, remember I did that recycling video? And man, the bins are full of groggy, expensive wines and vodkas, and this is like Doctor Central where I live, very expensive area. So, and I've got doctor friends, from cycling, running, and man, they crank the fucking drugs. They fucking crank the prescription meds, the Xanax mixed with alcohol and shit, because doctor life turmoil. And so relying on doctors for your health, it's good if you've got a broken bone and you need surgery, okay, but even then, like, do your homework, people. So get your printouts, get your tests, okay, stash them in a little file, and then write down, okay, I did it. My hemoglobin's 160. I did it, blah blah blah, at 5k. Okay. I mean, then when your hemoglobin goes up, your running times go down. They do. All right. Your speeds go up. Hemoglobin goes up, your speed goes up. Simple as that. Simple as that. So if you can be really, really skinny with a really, really high hemoglobin, now you're talking, that's what the big dogs are doing out there, the champs. We can't call them big dogs because they're like Italian greyhounds, but the lean big dogs out there, they got mad high hemoglobin levels and mad slim, mad light, okay? So if you're just light, you get beaten by someone who's heavier and has high hemoglobin. Hemoglobin is like the number one thing. Besides sugar, hemoglobin is everything. So you want to we want to track where our hemoglobin's at, okay? And check where the B12's at. You want to have your B12 over 500. You want to have your ferritin as a runner. I would say the ferritin at least, 150, things like that. Upper end is better if you're a runner, okay? Now, if you've got any like hematomicrosis and stuff, then yeah, that's going to really go away if you're doing my protocol. If you've got hematomicrosis and you're doing my protocol, you'll find it's magically going to go away. Yeah, I've seen it every single time. Every single person I know who's done my protocol, they might have, I don't know, one guy had hematomicrosis for like 30 years, and he was like die hard, no, I'm not doing nothing yet. Then eventually he's like, fuck, I'm going to try it. And he did, and he's like, man, damn, I don't need to do bloodletting anymore, So hematomicrosis is actually a blessing if you're an athlete, if you're human, because it means you've got more red blood cells going on, you've got more energy than your hypothetical twin who doesn't have hematomicrosis. But if you've got hematomicrosis, you don't want to be taking iron. That's why before you ever do iron supplementation, you always want to check your ferritin levels, okay? Now, I gave these numbers, but I probably shouldn't give numbers because some countries have different, like in Australia, we measure hemoglobin, let's say you got 180, it'll be like 180, in the US it might be 18, so it's like people are 180 or 18, oh my god, that's too low, 180, that's too high. So you want to be high end of normal of hemoglobin, high end of normal of ferritin, and definitely high end of normal vitamin B12. Right? They're three things. If you're a parent or you're a runner, you want to be best energy, high normal iron, high normal B12, high normal hemoglobin, okay, high normal testosterones. But that's another topic. So yeah, it's you don't need high testosterone to be a fast runner. You don't. As a sprinter, yeah, but as a 5k, no. You need high hemoglobin. That's number one. But testosterone will help produce hemoglobin. That's why if you're not getting enough carbohydrate, you can't sleep enough, and then when you don't sleep enough, you can't produce enough anabolic hormones, and then you won't produce enough hemoglobin. Simple as that. So carbs help sleep helps hormone production, for sure. Caffeine, stimulants, they inhibit sleep. They raise your cortisol too much in the evening, you can't sleep properly, your hormones get affected negatively. So yeah, caffeine, stims, very, very rarely use those. Yeah, that's what I'd say. If you have any allergies, I know for me, cat fur, like pussy, I'm allergic to pussies, cats, and if I eat too much fat, my wheezing's coming on, I'm like, so I use little puffers, but my cat allergies is the best ever in my life now, and got 5 cats, and this best ever allergy resistance now because my intake of my diet, my fat intake is the lowest, consistently lowest ever now, because I'm just like, well, asthma or kept living with pussies, okay, choose one. And this low fat diet is where it's at. Like, I'm even more strict now with fat intake than I ever have been. It definitely makes a difference. So yeah, that's the deal. I was going to say pacing. You want to pace yourself. If you're doing a 20-minute 5k, that's about 4-minute k pace. So start off at 4-minute k, finish at 4-minute k. Don't start off at 3:30 and then blow out to 4:30 or whatever. Like, you want to do a negative split. So the first 2.5k, you're going to come around in 10 minutes, or maybe 10 minutes 20, 10 minutes 10, and then the last 2.5k, you're going to be around 10 minutes or 9 minutes 40 or 9 minutes 50 for that even negative split. Negative split means you did the last half faster than the first half. That way you paced it better. If you do a positive split, it means your first half's faster, your last half slower. I guess this applies to flat courses or out and back courses, okay? But then again, maybe your out and back course starts high and then you're going down, so you'll be a positive splitting, and then when you're coming back, you'll be going slow on the way back as you climb back up the hill. So it depends. If the start is the turnaround point is the same elevation then you're good to go. If the turnaround point is a different elevation, that's going to be harder to do the pacing. That's where you're just going to go by feel and just go 100%, but pacing it as well, and it's practice. Generally with a 5K, what I try and do is just go as fast as I can in that first K, totally blow up, and then just try and hold that vibe to the finish. That's really good training. It's not good for PRs, but it's really good training. So that's what I generally do, because I only run once a week typically. I do that kamikaze 5K sprint at the start, hold it off, and generally I win, or I come in second or third. It's not the best for PRing, but it's the best for training if you only run once a week. Okay. And now let's say how to train for the 5K. You don't need to run more than 20 or 30K a week for the 5K. If your goal is sub 18 minutes, you don't need to run more than 30K a week. 10, 20, let's say 30K a week. If you're doing more than 30K a week running, for a marathon, you got to do more than that. But 5K, we're running for under 20 minutes, 18 minutes, so we don't need to do more than 30K a week. 30K is still like 6 5Ks. That's a lot of training. That's a lot. That's like almost doing a 5K a day. If you're doing 30K a week, that's a lot. And you want to do short, sweet runs, maximum 5K or maximum 20, 25 minutes per run, and always just focus on strict form. Watch some videos about form and every single foot strike, strict form, every single breath from the diaphragm, from the belly, strict form. You don't want to be these people out there like mouth shut, like just. It's just you're making life harder for yourself. You're making life harder for yourself. You want to have that autofocus, just running like a robot, man. Just running like a fucking robot every single step. If you can't control your form, stop the run, go home. You've ran too far that day. Once you start having bad form, you're teaching your body bad form. Go home, stop, you're done for the day, okay? Come back out tomorrow or next week. Strict form for the 5K, okay? Sloppy form, it looks bad, and you're going to get injured, okay? And you're losing time. What are you doing, okay? What are you doing? Oh, I just want to burn calories, I want to get skinny. Just eat low fat, okay? Just eat low fat. You can't outrun a fatty diet. Most runners out there are fat. Most runners are fat and tubby, okay? Nothing wrong with that. Just saying, physiological observation. Most runners are fat and tubby. Most cyclists are fat and tubby. Doesn't make them bad people. I'm not putting them down. I'm just saying, that's the observation. They're not lean like me. How many runners do you see who have a full jawline? They have fat faces, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying I'm better than them because I've got a lean face. I used to have a fat face too when I ate too much fat, okay? So it's not calories in, calories out. It's fat in, fat out. The fat you eat, the fat you wear. Run like a robot. Robocop, alright? Robocop. Run like Robocop. And the 5K is the best distance to specialise in. It makes you a better miler. It makes you a better marathoner. And the mile is a really good distance as well. I'd say 5K is the best. Second is the mile, okay? And then third is 10K, half marathon, okay? People trying to do the marathon, perfect the 5K. Get your 5K time as quick as you can go. And then let's do the 10K. Get as quick as you go. Let's go the half, and then go the full marathon, okay? Go run a marathon anyway just to do one. But only if you're trained up for it, okay? Because you get injured. You don't want to get injured, okay? If you got pain, don't train. Anyway, that's the wrap up for this video. You got any more questions? Ask down below. Hopefully answers the question. If it doesn't, ask me down, tell me in the group, in the coaching group, and we'll follow it up. But today, pacing, low fat, unlimited sugars, proper shoes, smart training, running with good form, breathing from the belly, staying relaxed, staying strong, get it fucking done.